focus on the less. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in on May 24, 2021, and the stock market is at a breaking point for May, and I got 5 stocks that I'm looking at coming into tomorrow, but we closed off the week very interesting. We did what we kept doing, where you had the whole week just to end at the same place where we started, but Friday was really interesting because we finally saw 2 of 3 markets go down. The Dow Jones still held up. That is going to be important this week, and this is the final week of May, and we are pretty much sitting at a 1% gain across the indexes, so it is a real make it or break it moment, and we have a lot of economic news and then the budget from Biden at the end of the week, so I hope you're ready, but we got a lot to talk about. Want to go over what happened in the market last week, what we're looking at for this week, the plays that we made on Friday, and then the plays that we have for the rest of the week. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch us come to life, and yes, if the price of Bitcoin and crypto is dropping this weekend and all you could think about is the music from Titanic, then yeah, we're the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to chat, baby. And please do not forget, today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. That's usually how it works, but this is the random account generator. We started this with $500 about a year and a half ago, and what we ask is that you guys post a specific option trade on the Sunday night watch list, strike price, expiration date, keep it under $100, preferably with time. We do a random comment picker in the morning, and then we buy it and see the performance, but not doing too bad considering how the whole year is played out, so keep posting and shout out to chat, baby. So right off the bat, there is going to be a lot we need to watch in terms of the levels, the S&P, the bonds, and all of that, but this week you are going to get a lot of economic data, and it's going to give us a lot of insight pretty much into the last 3 months. We're getting ready for the second quarter, but a lot of that initial recovery, just think about the CPI, everything, that was from January till March or April, but now we're going to be getting those GDP estimates, all of that, that is going to be important. Now from Biden, you're going to get the 2022 fiscal year budget, and that is going to be key, and we're going to get that on Friday, so that is going to make the markets a little bit interesting, but on top of all of that, you are going to get a ton of economic data this week. You're going to get that second GDP estimate, you're going to get personal incomes, the PCE price index, durable goods, consumer confidence, new and existing home sales, Chicago PMI, Case-Shiller index, and I believe like wholesale inventories as well, but it is going to be a lot of data. There will be some stuff overseas, so you're going to get all of that this week, and then depending on how the market reacts, how it takes the crypto carnage over the week and all that, we'll talk about that, but the budget is going to happen on Friday, so a lot could happen, and then the budget comes out, and then that could either be good or bad, or at the very least could start giving some guidance of how to price in this next quarter and what Wall Street is going to be looking for. So it is really going to be an interesting week. We're going to see if we're going to close the month of May positive or negative, and you're pretty much right at that cusp. So we've seen a lot of sensitivity to economic data, the recovery, inflation, and all of that. You've seen the market hold up really, really weird for this last 3 or 4 weeks. So depending on how it plays out this week, we are going to have a lot on our plate, so I hope you're ready. But overall, I think the market is pretty much going to do its thing up until Friday, and I think Friday is really going to be a wild card. And another real big key that we're going to have to watch is pretty much the market sentiment towards growth. To me, it looks like value is still fighting. I brought this up on Friday. If you guys remember, I gave you some of my predictions and how it was playing out, but one thing I couldn't really account for was getting 2 indexes red and then the Dow still holding up, because what I said is watch for a Friday close that would be red. You haven't seen that in the whole month of May. Every Friday has been good, but now the Dow maintained that record, but the S&P and NASDAQ, they did close red on Friday. So tying that into what we saw with crypto over the weekend and all of that, I really think investor sentiment and market sentiment towards growth and all of that, that is going to be really, really key to watch here. So tying this into the final point and the main thing, it's pretty much going to be bonds and breadth. You're going to see a lot of winners and losers. That's what we have been seeing, and you're seeing one set of the market kind of pull up towards the highs and hold up, but now you're also going to see if another side breaks down and how does that growth trade or any sort of rotation play out. But we have a lot of different asset classes hanging out at key levels, from commodities all the way down to bonds, and even where we're seeing now, a lot of people are just aware of this because it gets kind of technical. You could either break up or break down at this point. A lot of people are bringing up the moving averages, where you're at. But like we've been discussing with the dollar, bonds, and even the global currencies, all of those are back at key 2018 levels. So the real key is going to be watching what happens. And I think the week is really going to get determined by whether or not we see that momentum really slow down, or if we see one of these assets kind of break away into safety, or if they break down and then we start to get a whole new pricing and regime shift. So I think we're going to get an exciting but slow and boring week all tied into one. And depending on how it plays out, it is going to get you ready for the next month, the next quarter, and the rest of the first half of the year. So I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I actually got 5 different plays, and it kind of highlights this whole thing with the breadth, the laggers and leaders, because there's a lot of opportunity for upside, there's a lot of opportunity for downside, and then depending on what happens in the momentum and all of that, that is really going to be key for tomorrow. But the first play that I like, we played this on Friday. I really like this, and I'm surprised it didn't move as much, but NVIDIA. So they got news of the stock split. They're going to be voting on that early June. If that does go through, they plan to split the stock by July, but it did really good on Friday. The contracts were cheap. If you were watching it on stream, I bought them on Friday. It was in the morning within a couple of minutes, and I was like, dang, these are kind of expensive. I paid 150% premium, but the option never got cheaper after that. Even when the stock shot up and came down, the premiums got really elevated. So you had a little bit of that shock this weekend, and even with how growth has been, you didn't really get a reaction. So I really like that. I want to see how this plays out, but the only thing getting in the way right now is just the recent volatility. So if the market starts pulling it down, it can slow it down. But I think once things stabilize, if they do approve this split and all of that, I would not be surprised to see a lot of people go after this. So I really like this play. You've kind of seen the psychology towards this split play all year, so maybe it does break down, but if not, especially in the midst of some of this volatility, I think this is just a standout independent winner, so I really want to focus on them. But as far as the play that I made, I got this, you can see within 4 minutes of the open, I bought 10 of the June 820 contracts, bought them for $650, so I spent about $650. About 45-50 minutes later, it shot up. It went up to 109, and even then, I think the contracts are still around that price. They're up about 50% still after everything that happened Friday, but I got rid of 6 of them, got my initial investment back, got a little bit under $600, so I made it free, so I'm still holding 5 of these plays, but overall, I just like it for the split news and everything else. It did go up a lot. I wanted to be cautious and take some off the table, make it free. Again, I've been showing you last week, even this marketplace, when you're doing all of this to end up at the same place, you have seen what it has done to these contracts, so you got to be a little bit quicker on them, or at the very least, just control the budget, and that's what we've been doing. So that was the first play. The second play that I'm going to like tomorrow is going to be Square. They are at an interesting price point. They're pretty much at one of these 100-day lows, but I'm seeing this as a downside play for Bitcoin if it does keep breaking down. So if Bitcoin does do bad, and then you even see kind of a little bit more weakness in them because they have been one of those big growth winners, I think it might have some trading opportunities. I don't know if it'll really just collapse, but I think you're going to get a little bit of volatility in there because they did do good off of the earnings after the Bitcoin news, but it has also been getting a lot of the brunt of the pain there. So I really like where that's at. You could see it on the chart here. This is what I'm saying. It's at that 100-day low. They have gone up a lot, slightly below their 2021 level. So if it does break down and get back into this range, like I'm saying, it's still at a big gain, but it might kind of create a bigger range, and that could be good for trading here. So I want to see how that one plays out. But that is going to be the second play. The third play back to the upside, but Roblox, if you saw how this was on Friday, again, it did good when the market was up on Thursday. Even the market did have a little bit of the gap up on Friday, but the difference was Roblox did not give it back up, and now it closed at one of those highs. So I really like it. Had a lot of option activity, but like I've been saying with some of these options, and if you were watching us on Friday, you saw us monitoring the plays and how that played out. And again, paying attention to just these contracts, especially if they don't have a lot of time and they're far from the money. So I'm still holding all those shares. I got 800 and some change as far as the shares go. You can see the last 30 days, you can see that 100 shares that we picked up, got those at 64. Wanted to get a little bit of the short-term activity when it started making that breakout, and this is why I like Roblox now, because it is finally broken out from the high level and now holding a new high. But I grabbed 10 of those May 21st for 100. We bought them at $40. They were worth $400 for all of them. But if you remember on Friday, even though Roblox was up, these contracts were down 60%. And then by the middle of the day, you saw that they shot up in value. So I decided to sell half. I got back about 350, a little bit more, made them practically free. So I'm still holding them, but overall still holding all the rest of my options. But now what I really want to watch is just how Roblox plays here, because you've just seen it, just all of this movement. This has really been a nice one to trade. And the best part is, in the midst of everything in the market, you can't ignore it. This stock has gotten a lot of favor. So if it breaks out after being a direct listing, just factor in some of these IPOs and direct listings. A lot of them have performed very poorly. So the fact that it's doing good, breaking out, giving all these trading opportunities, we are still holding a little bit of the options, still holding the shares. But I think in the next week or two, depending on how it plays out, we are also going to be trading this one a lot. So I really like them for the upside. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on them. That is going to be another one. And then as far as the third or the fourth play here, Lending Club, it had a nice move on Friday. I don't know what the news was, but kind of cheap on the share side. And as you're seeing, some finance stocks, even the banks, they've had good moves. Some are getting killed here. So I really like this. This one caught my eye, not too much on it, but I am going to watch them for the upside. And then finally, Ford. I really like this play. If you guys remember, I grabbed those shares, but I wasn't even expecting this move. So I like them because now they could really break out and kind of be one of those breakout value names. Like I'm saying, hump for value, though, the fact that they held up and now they're actually kind of leading the pack here, getting past this level. I really like it. It's at all-time highs. And now that electric F-150, the real key that I like behind it is that you're probably going to get more updates either now or probably in the next 30 days in regards to how many reservations they got, and that could start boosting things. But I really like where they're at here. We even have the random play, but otherwise just holding shares here and want to see how that one plays out, but really want to watch them in terms of value and all of that. But those are going to be the main plays, so watch them. Watch AT&T. I really like them at a value name. Again, you saw that whole fiasco with lowering the dividend and splitting the growth and that whole deal, but I was looking at them here on the chart. They're still kind of holding up. Again, it may make a move lower, but if things could look a little bit better here, I do like Verizon as an alternative. However, I'm starting to think that if this does turn around, or even if it could hold, AT&T might have a little bit of value there, so I really like that. So watch them. Watch Tesla. I did get rid of my final 5 shares that we got for free. We got them around this level, so I still had 30%, but now even with Bitcoin and how we were coming into the weekend and everything else, I think it puts them at a precarious situation. And again, it was only 5 shares, but I really want to watch Tesla as well as even MSTR as some of the Bitcoin plays, because depending on how it plays out tomorrow and even just future expectations or kind of reputation tied to it, I want to see how these companies play. But Tesla was really interesting. Watch AAL. I want to watch airlines depending on how that GDP data and economic data points come out. I think it could have an influence, but a lot of people are still talking about the price moves that you have been seeing in travel. It was very easy to focus on autos and the CPI, but just don't forget about the impact it had on travel. So depending on how things play out or any news we get, I think that could be good. Ford, Roblox, Lending Club, like we said, watch them. Watch Walmart. Again, I really do want to watch value. And like I'm saying, NASDAQ SP closed red. Dow is holding up. I have a couple theories this week, but I really want to see if you are going to get any value names. So watch them. Watch Wells Fargo. I did actually increase my puts on them. If you guys remember, I got some of those cheaper ones at the start of the week, but then what I also ended up doing was averaging down now with a decent amount of time or getting closer to the money, because like I'm saying, anytime I started to see the Dow break down, if we do get a shift in every single thing goes, I like these cheaper bank plays considering how much they've moved in this last year and they really have that value. So watch Wells Fargo. I got those July plays over there, but still kept it small with like $100 or so, so keep your eye on them. Watch Micron. Even all of the chip makers, they're kind of there at the lower end. I do want to compare them with NVIDIA and see how they play out. Square, like I said, GLSI, this is one I've been holding here, but based on the FDA and even their filing, I'm expecting something very, very shortly with them. Could be a certain amount of time, but the point is it's held up, and I really, really like that. But I noticed that one was green in the portfolio as I was doing my checks, so watch them. Watch Baba. We want to see if any more regulation news or anything comes out, but they've had an interesting volatile move towards this bottom. I want to see if they do break down and start to come here, but I think they have a lot of risk, and at the same time, they have a lot of value, so it's really going to be interesting to see how they play out. And finally, to the dollar and UUP, we don't know which one's going to move first, but if anything, I hope you can see it. The dollar is leading here, and I would keep your eye on the euro or anything, especially as we come into it. But as far as the bonds go, you can see how it's kind of edging up here, and this is what I really think we're at this week. You're going to get kind of a movement here, and then either by Friday, if we get that wild card, if you see the bonds start to go down or any other economic data start to send this down sooner, then I really do think we're going to get a repeat at the beginning of the year, and that's what I want to pay attention for. But the real question is, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Are we going to get the news that moves the bonds, or are the bonds going to move before the news? We will have to see, and I think it's going to be an exciting close to the end of the month, so I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to have a good attitude and expect, baby. But the code loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.